what a Shonda Eshman is for the community, and that I wished he would convert out, and I would help him if he wanted. He's a creature of the political left. That is his religion. He has boasted about breaking Shabbos, and that's fine, that's his business, except that as the face of the Jewish Journal, the face of the largest newspaper, probably the largest circulation Jewish newspaper west of New York, maybe west of Chicago, he should present a slightly more modest, religiously sensitive image. He doesn't care. He's a zero as a journalist. He is the most immature journalist I know or know of in Los Angeles.
Why is he a zero as a journalist, and why is he immature as a journalist?
Because he doesn't understand the mission of an ethnic newspaper, and he writes in the style of a 5-year-old who has just visited his favorite birthday party. He boasts regularly about celebrities he meets and is much more interested in glitz than content.
How often do you read him?
I read the journal every week, and I read I read every issue of the journal the same way, for the same reason that I read left-wing websites daily. Probably more left-wing sites than right, because you need to know what the other side is thinking. And the Jewish Journal emphatically is the other side.
If you were given complete control of the Jewish Journal, who would you fire and what would you do with the paper?
I would start with a new staff. And
you wouldn't keep anyone?
No. And because I think they're all, to varying degrees, undesirable. In some cases, because of what they have or have not done, and in other cases because they have been poisoned by the policies, by the foppish policies of leadership. And I would pattern a rehabilitated Jewish Journal after the New York Jewish Week of Gary with one R, Rosenblatt, who has been the premier Jewish editor in North America for as many years as I can remember. First in Baltimore with the Baltimore Jewish Times, and now for the last, I'm guessing, 15 years at the New York Jewish Week. The New York Jewish Week is by 100 miles, the finest non-Orthodox Jewish newspaper on the continent, and the writing in virtually every instance is superb. And one of the reasons, is that many of the reporters and op-ed writers have been there since Gary came to New York. And there's a reason they are staying, because it's one of the few quality, journalistically Jewish homes available. There is no non-Orthodox newspaper I know that is that even vaguely rivals it.
What should be the mission of a Jewish newspaper?
To 50% to reflect the rhythms of the community and 50% to lead. Let me retract something I said a moment ago. Among the people I would can't accept David Suissa. David is the only reflective commentator on the newspaper. And unless I'm forgetting someone, he's the only one who has worked there in the 25 years of the newspaper's existence. I think I became derailed someplace. Did I say the other? The other 50% is to lead. Leadership means providing ideas, providing critiques, and the Jewish Journal, as constructed, can't critique a cupcake.
You say to lead in. That implies a direction. So what direction should it be leading people? Towards more religiosity? Towards what?
By implication, probably. But to be a moral role model for the community. And that means covering reform and conservative and orthodox fairly, in a pointedly balanced member. And I would have commentators from each strain of Yiddishkeit. Whereas the Jewish Journal treats orthodoxy as a freak, as a pull toy to be played with and observed with a giggle rather than taken seriously.
Is there anything the Jewish Journal does right, aside from Suissa's column?
They may report the obits accurately, but serious journalism, it has been an incapable task for these years. I scarcely can think of an example. Marty, is it Marty Kaplan, I think?
Yes.
From USC.
Yes.
He tries to emulate Bill Maher and falls a mile short. Bill Boyarsky is to the left of the Times, where he worked for, I think, most of his career, if not all of it. They have Dennis writes every other week, and in the edition after his essay appears, he's treated as if he is Gaddafi in drag.
Dennis Prager?
Dennis Prager. He is regularly belittled. He would be just off the top of my head, he probably would be my star columnist, my every week columnist to lead the newspaper, because he's topical and intellectual, and they don't have anyone who can touch Prager's lunch pail.
Would you publish the personal attacks against Prager that the Jewish Journal publishes?
Of course. Absolutely. I publish personal attacks against me. Absolutely. Oh, emphatic. Yes.